Hey guys, I've been seeing a lot of videos, actually reaction videos to the Tess Holiday Cosmo cover. And actually, I would just like to ring in on the whole weight control and body positive movement and all that stuff. So I guess I'll just start with myself. I've always varied in weight. At my lowest, I was about a size 0 to size 2, which brings on its own difficulties in the way that regular clothes don't fit you anymore. So I would have to go into the kids section, in which I had to wear size 14 to 16 in kids. And I'm at my heaviest. I just had a baby about a year ago. And even though I lost some weight from the pregnancy, I'm still about a size 12, probably 12, 14. And my usual weight is between a 4 and a 6. That's where I'm the most comfortable and where I feel that I have the most ability. When I'm talking about my ability, I'm not just talking about everyday activities like going across rooms and doing laundry and climbing stairs. I'm talking about extra things that you might want to do too. Um, my husband and I and our baby, we went hiking a couple weeks ago, and just having her in my arms and the extra 20 pounds going up and down hills, it really wasn't easy. It really took my balance off, and it just made me out of breath, and it really made me realize some of the weakness that I had in my legs, not being able to carry that extra weight, and that's only 20 pounds additional on top of my old pregnancy weight. Um, but I'm not all contributing to my weight. I'm also getting older. Being a martial artist for 20 years, you can't help but be more aware of your body and your center of gravity. So I know a lot of people don't really pay attention to that. But yes, your ability to be more stable on your feet, just and your agility and your endurance really, the weight actually makes a difference. My grandfather, he always believed in moderation, not too much, not too little. And he proved that by living until he was 96. As in compared with my father, he lived to the age of 81. And what the difference was between my grandfather and my father was that I never knew my real grandmother because she died before I was born. But from what my understanding was, is that she what kind of enabled him, and she gave him whatever he wanted to eat when he was growing up, and he just continued that into his adult life. And that is the man and the diet that I knew growing up and up until his dying day. Um, so he always seemed like he was healthy, even though his weight was around, hovered between 250 and 300 pounds. He was a relatively larger man. Um, so his numbers always, like as far as his health range, was always within limits. No diabetes, no high blood pressure, none of that. His mind was good. But even if you have ability from your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and into your 60s, maybe even into your 70s, all that does catch up to you. And in my father's case, when my mom got really sick with dementia, and she lost the ability to cook, his diet really tanked. Even though somebody's health numbers might be within limits, um, what happened in my father's case was after a lifetime of poor eating, his liver just couldn't handle it, and he did develop cirrhosis of the liver, which meant that the liver really couldn't detoxify all the things that he was eating over his whole lifetime. So, so he did develop the fatty liver, and also that condition weakened his whole body. And every time he went into the hospital, it actually weakened his body more and more. I'm talking about the last 2 years of his life, which was basically a living hell. And not only does somebody get more dependent on you, they have less ability. So it really affects the entire family and your whole social structure. Um, just taking care of that one person, and I can't even imagine having that in multiple family members. So what would happen with my father was the cirrhosis of the liver would affect the veins in his throat and stomach, so they would burst and collect in it and clot in his stomach, and he would throw up this clotted blood. At one point, he lost about 2 quarts of blood, and they had to rush him to the hospital, where actually the 2 episodes that did happen, he spent about a week in the hospital. My point being, it's hard to escape the cumulative effects of something that you've been doing your entire life. You can, but it's like my father's case. He really didn't want to, and even if he did, it was much too late. The damage had been done. And like I said, it's not necessarily the weight itself, it's the conditions that you put yourself in to put on this weight and to get you into this poor health conditions that actually affect everyone. Now, I'm more like my grandfather. Obviously, this is a toy from McDonald's. It's from the Happy Meal. So I'm not the cleanest eater in the world, but I'm also not the worst eater. I do moderation, and it's very hard to lose the weight. I mean, I'm a year out from the pregnancy. I lost some weight, but I really need to get my things in order and actually put in a real effort to do so. So I know it's hard to lose the weight, but more importantly, change your lifestyle and to clean up your diet. So getting back to Tess Holliday and the Cosmo cover, there's no doubt that the diet in America is changing. It's getting more processed. Obviously, there's less nutrients and everything going on in the soil. And so we actually are getting less nutritious food with every bite that we take. It's really hard to remedy that, because even if your produce and your meat and everything like that is clean relatively, even if your vegetables are grown in a greenhouse, you lack the humus and the bacteria in the soil and the nutrients to actually get something out of it, especially if it's picked. They lose something like 90% of the nutrients by the time that you get in the grocery store. I mean, that's like 3 days out of being picked. So getting the proper nutrition is going to be hard anyway to get. So anyway, the whole Tess Holiday, in my opinion, is normalizing this obesity and in the direction so people don't have a blowback against it. So please take care of yourselves and each other. I know that the diet in America is very hard. Very, like I said, it's very hard for me to adjust it. But we need to. I believe that the blowback from the Cosmo cover is good, because all the obesity that we see is not normal. And I think everybody needs the ability to function as high as they can. So if you like my video, please comment, or maybe not, leave a comment too. So until then, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.